Welcome to the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast.
This pig came bottling.
Just ended up puking last night. It sucked.
Whoa! Ah! We gut it, we wrap it in tinfoil, throw it over the fire.
Alrighty, guys, this is the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast, episode 109. It's been a while since we did a podcast. Yeah, I've been bad about the podcast here lately. No excuses, really. Just been bad about it. But we have been busy. Number one, it's turkey season. So we've had some success and we've had some failures. We're going to have another turkey episode later on, hopefully in a week or two. I'm going to kick it over to Kyle real quick. He's going to give you maybe a little highlight reel of his turkey season, but he's going to go deep diving here in a week or two. So Kyle, we can go ahead and go from there.
Yeah. So first, I think I had second season tag here in Illinois. First day I had off that I went to our shared land spot that we have access to here in Fulton County. I don't know. I've talked to some people, say there's a bunch of birds out there, and definitely I think someone had got one during youth season, but I didn't see any sign or anything. I pretty much just walked around nonstop for a few hours and then gave up. And then luckily Cody took me to his hunting hole that seemed to always have turkeys, and sure enough, there were turkeys gobbling right on the roost. Didn't have to make a noise, and then had some come right in. Believe it or not, I was able to kill a bearded hen, which was pretty sweet. So I've got a Jake and I got a bearded hen, but I don't have a Tom yet. So hoping next year to get a Tom.
Next year, Tom or bust.
Yep.
Did you know it was a hen before you shot?
Yeah. So So basically, we heard gobblers and they were coming in, and then Cody's like, all right, there was 5 of them. And there was, 3, and so they were so far away, you saw 3 without beards and 2 with beards. So you're like, all right, there's 3 hens and 2 toms. Well, they come in, and they're starting to cross the field, and then the gobbler pops up behind them, big old tom, and he's significantly, body larger and everything. And then you're like, oh, okay. And Cody's like, oh, no, those are both bearded. There's 2 bearded hens in that group. So, yeah, we knew pretty soon into it.
And that's perfectly... Obviously, that's legal during spring turkey season.
Yep. Any bearded bird.
Yep.
Awesome.
Game on. I believe my turkey season's done. We'll have an episode about that. You can watch Kyle's hunt already if you guys want to watch all that footage. But I believe my turkey season's done. I have a lot of turkey content that'll be out in the video. But I had some close calls, but just didn't make it happen. And turkey season ends in what? 5 days?
I think Friday, right?
Or the 5th, is it I'm not for sure. Either way, this week-ish, it ends.
I don't remember. It might be Sunday.
And I'm not going to be able to go out. So we'll put that video out. We had another team member get a bird. Unfortunately, he was not on camera, but he will talk about it during his podcast, and we'll be good to go from there. But we have been busy. Again, not to give myself excuses, we have been busy, and the main thing we're doing this podcast about is we are having, we're going to recap our weekend at Vortex headquarters with the HHA site company. So, long story short, HHA, both sites, picked us up, They are partnering up. They're supporting our mission with Thin Blue Line Outdoors, getting law enforcement and other first responders into the outdoors. Chris Ham, great guy. I have nothing but good things to say about him so far. I've only met him the weekend in person, but I talked to him on the phone, text back and forth a couple times. Just all in all, great guy. And, back in 2020 when we started this, if you told me that the team was going to get invited to go to Vortex and get a factory tour and all that good stuff, I'd call you a liar. So it was absolute blast. I will deep dive in my opinion of everything here in a little bit, but I want to start off with Jesse real quick. Jesse, all in all, tell me everything. I know you were only there for one day, but tell me what you thought about the whole event that day.
The Vortex facility is amazing. I could probably spend 3 whole days in there. They have all those different shooting ranges, which one of them was closed down because the local SWAT team came in and did some training and tore it all up, which was really cool. I mean, it's cool they open it up to those things, up to the teams to train and stuff like that. But like, they don't actually say like, okay, you got to be careful here because of this. It's do what you need to do, which is really awesome to hear. Our tour guide was a Navy SEAL, I found out, which was also really cool. I don't think I've
weird.
ever
Jesse kept
actually met
saying
a Navy
I
SEAL.
could take him. Jesse thought he could fight him and
No.
take him the whole time. I don't know why, but
No.
Him and Ryan. Yeah.
No. Even in my biggest, day of, I could do that, I would never, ever say that about a Navy SEAL. No, but he was really knowledgeable. It was really cool. I found out that Vortex actually got started as a bird watching company
I did not
and
know
not just like scopes and rangefinders. It was the owner was an avid bird watcher and wanted to figure out how he could spot birds more or like easier to get that magnification. And so then they started Vortex. And so, yeah, like we started off in the shooting range and kind of touring that. They have great names for their different rooms there. So, like, they had a Gotham City room, which was the weight room. All in all, the Vortex facility tour was amazing to see. They welcomed us with open arms. They answered all the questions, provided a great lunch, and that part was awesome, right? And the coolest part was like everybody there was connected somehow to the military or to law enforcement, first responders. Like they just opened the doors and provided all that to those people in those job fields. And you can tell because the other part that they have within that Vortex facility is I don't know what you guys call it when you're training it for officers, but it's like the breakaway house where you can.
Room
house,
clearing.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. So essentially, it's shoe house. Shoe house is what they call it.
There you go. And they have that in the facility, so like rain, shine, whatever, they go in and train, and they can put however they want the house to look. They can build it that way. And they had a catwalk up top. It was awesome. Just really, really neat in what they did. They even had a little par 3 golf hole out there, so you could test out their Vortex rangefinders for golf. They also, they have that kind of lifetime warranty, lifetime guarantee on their products. And it was cool to hear the story of how some people in there said, hey, we can do a better turnaround of this and get their scope back by, 3 days. If we just have a couple more people.
I think they said the goal was if you sent it in on a Monday, you'd have a scope Friday to hunt the weekend. Is what they're hoping.
Yeah. Something like that.
It depends a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. And that came from the employees there about how much they care about wanting to get people back in the woods or back doing what they're using their product for. Met some really great people, just down to earth, good time. Everybody's there to talk about outdoor stuff. And big shout out to Chris for inviting us from HHA. Then we went and did a bow shoot with HHA and some veterans and some first responders. And like, I gotta be honest, guys, I haven't shot my bow since season. And I don't have the HHA single pin or dial set, nothing like that. I'm still rocking my 5-pin Trophy Ridge, which I thought I had pretty well decently dialed in. It was Kyle and I, we were partnered with this ex-Special Forces guy. And then quickly they found out the teams were uneven. And then the ex-Special Forces guy says, I'm going to go over there with that guy.
Yeah,
So then we're like,
he did not hesitate to join another team.
No.
And we hadn't even shot yet. He just picked all that up just for me.
We haven't even shot yet. He goes, yeah, it's not for me. Not for me. This is not the winning team.
He's like, I'll go with the other Ryan.
That's the first bow shoot I've ever done in my life. Right? And so then you're doing it in front of all these people and the guy who was in front of us and left your team actually is like an archery coach for some sort of a military archery team, and like they go to internationals and nationals every year, and like he coaches them, so he's obviously like top of the line, right? I think I lost an arrow on my third shot, so I had a target that's like 32 yards away, and so as Kyle and I are shooting, I'm sitting there like we had the 10 targets you could use a rangefinder, than the last 5 you couldn't. Even with the rangefinder, you're like, okay, 27 yards. My 5-pin side, I'm like, okay, I got to go in between my 25 and my 30, and I'm just going to eyeball it, right? Kyle's like, oh, 27. He just turns the little dial. There it is. And I was like, God damn it, I gotta get one of those, man. Because you don't have to guess at that point in time. Like, like you guys said, you get out of the box, I know you could talk more about it. To me, it seems a little, I'm still green in the archery world, but it seems a little complicated because I don't have my hands on how to actually sight it in. But you sit there, you shoot it at 20, you shoot it at 60, and you put a sticker on it, and there you go, right? And you're getting in. Kyle was like, he was getting them pretty damn well within those targets by using that dial. So yeah, like I'm sold on the HHA. I just gotta actually purchase one now. That way I'm not guessing in between my sights. Get it more precise and exact. But all in all, man, it was such a fun day. Glad I took the day off of work to go. I mean, you're hanging out with the boys. Heard all about Ryan's gout. But we'll let him tell. We'll let him tell that.
Yeah.
But
I got him
all in all,
on
it was a
another
great day.
podcast,
Yeah, it was a super fun day. Like, it was just, I mean, you hear that I'm going to go tour a warehouse, like this is going to be, okay, whatever. It's like a school field trip, but no, I was like a kid in a candy store. Like, walking around seeing all the cool Vortex stuff they got, all the shooting ranges, their mottos, their, philosophies behind everything, their missions. And then I think at the Oregon Sportsman's Club is when we did the bow shoot at.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice facility going out there. The different 3D targets set up, and HHA really just put on a really great event, and I'm very thankful to Chris and to HHA for having us go there or inviting us in, because it was a very, very fun, awesome day.
Yep, I agree. Kyle, you want to go cover the day one right now?
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, Jesse pretty much summed up pretty well about the tour and everything. It was awesome. It was more than what I was expecting. What they gave us and how they treated us was top notch, and it was awesome. Just the tour of the whole place, and it's huge, and I'd say they have just a really, really good focus on precision of their building, and then the fact they like how big their center is to fix things it's pretty cool how they have it all set up. Like he was saying, they went from having one guy evaluate and where to send stuff to get it fixed to 3 guys, and they didn't need to do that. They were still probably leading the market on turnaround time to get products back to people, but they said, well, hey, can we make that better? And they presented that to their CEO or whatever, and they did, and they expanded it to 3 people, and they got the turnaround time, like you said, to 5 days. So like you said, if you break something on a weekend, you can send it in on Monday and get it back on Friday and go hunting again, which is awesome. I love that. It was real cool how it was set up and all like that, and how giant their warehouse was and everything. And I really liked, it seems like they really really try to help local law enforcement, anything like that. Their stuff's open to everybody, for free. They can come use it, they schedule it, and that's that. I thought that was really awesome. So I really enjoyed that. I said after that we got to go to the archery shoot, and that was.
Hey, Kyle, hang on a second. Jesse, can you hear that? Hang on a second, Kyle. Can you hear that, Jesse?
Yeah, I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like.
So
Was your phone ringing?
Yeah, mine was.
So Kyle-
Is that what messed it up?
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, we could hear it vibrating, man.
Oh,
What the
gotcha.
hell is that noise?
Gotcha.
Hey, I do want to go back, because when we were touring the facility, they were talking about all the different touch points that they do when they're measuring the microns, the microns, right?
Yeah.
Of the scopes, and how small it actually is. And Kyle, you were saying that's what you used to do before you got into law enforcement, was you were working with that kind of system for a different company, right?
Yep.
And like, can you touch base on that a little bit? Because me being the science nerd, I thought that was like cool as hell.
Yes,
Like just
so-
how much different touch points, like every part gets measured.
Yeah, it's cool. So yeah, I used to work in a automotive factory where really like we measured everything in microns, and I worked in the quality department. So we had to check parts and measure them at everything like that. So you have these special tracers that measure like every little aspect of the parts. So you're doing that 3 shifts daily, like twice a day, certain parts. So like there's just like overkill on like just making sure, and they're like you're going out to production lines and like you're checking parts on gauges and stuff like that, and it's all measured in microns, which is literally like I think they said like 7 microns is like the width of a human hair or something like that. But it's like super minute in what they're working with, and it's really cool. But they have these giant elaborate machines that do all these traces and measurements on it. It's pretty similar to what I used to do, so that was really cool.
And they had like, I don't remember how many touch points they had on the scopes, right? And obviously they don't do it for every scope, but they take one out of production kind of between shifts, and they were able to say, okay, if we come off and we measured this one, and if it's a little off, then we know the batch 200 before that was done,
Yeah.
and we have to take those
Yep.
out. And then that was all being done in like this dust-free room of, like, I don't even know how they did that with the air duct and HVAC system.
Yeah, it was cool.
But then also you looked at the computers that were running these kind of machines, dude, and they were huge, right? And like just how powerful and how much data that stuff has got to use to be able to make it that precise. But I mean, it just goes back to Vortex and their commitment to giving you that product that is that precise. And you're thinking, well, you know, every company's going to tell you that, but then they also back it up with a lifetime guarantee. It's insane.
Oh,
to me,
yeah.
man. It was so cool to see that aspect of it, how detailed they got into it. Because as everybody knows, that makes a big difference. You know, your optics makes a big difference when you're shooting.
Yeah.
You got that elk 400 yards away, and you're trying to drop it and trying to get, you know, you spend thousands of dollars on this hunt. You better trust the sight that you're using. You better trust that scope and that spotting scope. So it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to cut you off about the bow shoot there.
Oh, you're good. But
Do you have anything else about the bow shoot, Kyle?
no, I really enjoyed it, and I had a lot of fun. Like I said, and it was
Kyle and I beat. We beat Boom and Jay.
Oh yeah, we didn't even have to look at the score. I was like,
Smoked
Yep.
them.
no, I had a lot of fun though.
We said it first.
But no.
If you say it now, Cody, you're a liar. We said it first.
No, I'll edit your guys
We
out.
established the winner
Oh, yeah.
first.
Yep. No, honestly, you guys covered the Vortex facility good. Jesse, it was funny, like halfway through our tour, Jesse got to pull me aside, like, hey, you okay? You're being quiet. And honestly, I was just like in awe the whole time. It wasn't like, and I get this RBF going from time to time. and so
That's what it was. I was like, he's either like unhappy about something that somebody said, right? Probably the red coat. Or B, like he's might be physically ill right now. Like, is he gonna puke? That's what your face was showing me. Like either disappointment or you're gonna puke.
Nope.
And so I was like, dude, are you all right? Like, you can't necessarily puke in this area because of the microns and stuff, but there's a bathroom over there, you know?
Yep. No, I know I get.
That's what was going through my head.
Yeah, I know I get that RBF going sometimes. But no, I was just in awe. Like, I 100% was just like, never thought in 2020 when we started it, we'd be here. And kind of the same thing when I think Jesse said it, like, oh, we're going to get a factory tour. Like, okay, how's that going to be? And, I mean, we set the tone with the Vortex Edge facility. I was a kid in the candy store at the gun ranges and the shoot house. Like, I was already thinking, like, how can I get our vocal team to come up here to do the shoot house? Like, how can I get them, convince them we need to drive 3 hours there, train, and 3 hours back? But it's just, you know, I was amazed by that and, you know, the quality control. And, you know, one thing I'm gonna say it real positive, but then I'm gonna bring a little negativity to it. But you'll understand why. How they treat their employees. So I can't. We don't know what the pay was or anything like that. They didn't talk about that. But you could just see, number one, all their employee places. It looked like a state-of-the-art facility. Their old warehouse, the one they had to move out of, that isn't the good one. We walked into the bathrooms, and the bathrooms are pristine, nice and clean, and that's the crappy one, And so that was, you could tell.
Well, like everybody that we ran into were
happy.
And you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt because it is a tour, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like they know you're coming in for a tour, but even their body language and working, like you could tell, like I'm not saying they enjoy it, but they're taking care of. You know what I mean?
That one dude was fucking putting while he was on the phone, like on a sales call. He's putting on a little green in his little office cubicle, just having the time of his life. And then there's like people had their dogs and stuff. It was sweet.
Yep. I was thinking that same thing. So we're in the upper floor, so we're looking over all the like sales reps, and there's people putting, people petting their dog, doing other stuff as they're on the phone talking to a customer.
I forgot about the dog thing. Yeah, you're the one who told me that they can have their dogs with them at work. There's also that. It's funny because the day before, I didn't tell you guys this. The day before, we went to the Vortex facility. I think it's because I Googled the address or whatever. One of my targeted Facebook ads was for the little preschool that they have there on campus. And I'm pretty sure it's for their workers, right? It's called Little Buffaloes or something like that. It was like, come work at Little Buffaloes and be a preschool teacher. I was like, well, if I get free stuff, maybe I will go be a preschool teacher, I could be a preschool over there. Yeah. So it was really cool. Now, you guys stayed for the second day. How was that?
Well, real quick, jumping ahead of me. But
Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, what I was going to say, the negative thing I was going to say is you could tell, like Gotham City, the weight room, they had a massage room. They let employees hunt the land for doves and all this stuff. The issue was these guys are getting ideas like, our boss with the thin blind doors doesn't do these things for us. And I know Ryan's sitting there chirping at me, limping with his gout. So they made me look bad.
We're still waiting for that compound.
Listen.
Down in Lewiston, buddy.
And you don't have to match the 900 acres that they have to hunt. You don't have to 500 would be fine. You don't need to do the whole 900 like they have.
Gotcha.
We understand where you're at. Right now. We'll settle for 600.
Yeah, 5 or 6. That's okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. I do need the massage room though. That's non-negotiable. You gotta have.
Okay.
Non-negotiable.
You just Nate's the masseuse.
He's already grabbed it, seen
Take
it.
it or leave it. But no.
It'll be all right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Vortex.
He's got
awesome.
soft hands.
Yeah, I know Jesse. I know you're a reader like I am. The books they had around the whole Vortex facility, I like that.
Oh. Yeah, they had actually one of my favorite authors. Like when I'm not reading fiction and I'm reading leadership books and things like that. But Patrick Lencioni, shout out Patrick if you listen to this small Timberline Outdoor podcast right now out in California where you're at. But he bases all of his research. He has his brain trust, whatever, research on teamwork and how to be the ideal team player and how to work together as a team for the common goal and what the barriers are and how you get around that. And then he does his leadership books too and how he tells us. Anyway, I've read almost everything he has and they're fantastic. And that's how I kind of model myself as a leader within my school. And so how Vortex was doing it and you could see it within their employees as you were talking about. Everybody's part of that team and you can tell that they have bought into that. And they believe that because that's how the buildings ran. And so and believing the story again of the guys who were doing the fixing of the repairs and stuff and how they brought that idea up. That's just literally a Patrick Lencioni run model through and through. and it was everywhere. It was cool. I nerded out in not only hunting ways, but leadership ways, and just like nerd ways with science and stuff. It was cool.
I think I just saw the squirrel run across the screen. Jesse started chasing.
Yeah. No.
I don't have much to add for the bow shoot afterwards. It was fun. I
got
grew up
last
shooting bows
compared to.
I grew up shooting bows, so I've done a lot of bow shoots, and that was fun. The main difference at that shoot compared to others was just the fact all of us had that common bond. With everybody there. There was a lot of BS and a lot of bullshit. And
Did you stay and watch them shoot that? Was it an elk? Like
He shot at it.
I was the only one that shot
Yeah.
it. I hit it. Yep. It was low. It wouldn't be
The only one that hit it
No.
out of everybody there.
Oh no.
No.
There was 3 people that got a 10 on it. I know that.
Yeah. The first group they had some misses. There was the second group we all hit. Third group all hit. Fourth group I think there was like a miss. So I was a little low, but like it just depends if it made it where the shoulder blade. If the shoulder blade was forward, I killed it. If it was back, probably not. So
I was in my car on the way home.
Mm-hmm.
I already lost enough arrows that day.
We struggled at times, but we got through it.
Yep. No.
We killed some stuff.
Yeah.
Some stuff.
So we had a fun time that night. I know Kyle and myself and John, we stayed a little bit at the Sportsman Club. We didn't stay too late, but it was a good time. The next day was open to the public. So everything we just talked about between us three was invite only. So it was a really cool experience and it was awesome. The next day was open to the public, and they do these shoots throughout Wisconsin all summer long. You can go to HHA Sports and you see the dates if anybody's interested to do any of these shoots. Anyway, the next day was at the Stoughton Conservation Club, and I'm not bad mouthing the Oregon one, but the Stoughton one was very, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
It was a bigger facility. They had an indoor range, which we didn't shoot, which Oregon did too, but Stoughton, you could see they had an indoor range, and they had. We shoot 50 targets, Kyle, altogether.
I think
Or 60?
it's no. I
30 or 20 and 20.
I think it was around 50. I think it was like 22 and 23 or something like that. It was like low 20s for both of them.
So Jesse, essentially there was 2 different 3D shoots. There was around 25 each. One was in the woods, and you walked in the woods, which that's what I'm used to. And then the other one was in open field.
See, that's what I thought we would have been doing at Oregon, because you would keep. What's the place you go to down there?
Black Diamond.
Yeah. You keep trying to get me to go down there when I was living down there, and I should have done it. And that sounds really fun.
Yeah,
But
that's what I thought we'd been doing, but
yeah, it was fun. All three, John, Kyle, and I all shot pretty well. I was pretty happy. John beat me on the first course, and I beat him on the second course. And when we combined the scores, I beat him by like 5 points. Fuck you, John.
Ryan would have smoked all of us with his crossbow.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But he wouldn't have been able to walk the course though. So with his gout.
Yeah, we need to back up a little bit, okay? we need to back up.
You need to tell like just the events that unfolded at when we arrive at Vortex, or when we're on the way to Vortex, the text messages, and then when we get there and Ryan shows up. Someone needs to cover that.
So we're gonna back up to, I think, February is when Chris invited us to this event. And of course, like anything, I send out to the team, hey, we got invited to this awesome event. Who wants to go? By the end of it, by the time it's time to go, there's only us 3, John.
We started off with 10.
Yeah, something like
that. 10 people said we're going. This is going to be awesome. Here we go.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then there were 5.
Yeah, there was 5. And 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 Ryan, it was no crossbows allowed, so Ryan couldn't even shoot during the bow. But anyway, we've been talking about meeting at the Vortex facility for weeks now, weeks, and Kyle and I were getting in the hotel. We went up there the day before, ate with John and his wife. Had what did we eat?
Stromboli.
What was that called? Stromboli. That was my first time having it. Very good. And John's wife is a very
His wife's
lovely
Italian.
lady. Yeah. And it was great. So we ate Stromboli, watched the draft for a while, and then went to our hotel. So anyway, hey, meet at Vortex facility at this time. Everybody's early, If you're not early, you're late, So anyway, we're waiting for Ryan. Ryan tells us he's heading to the Oregon.
On the way.
On the way.
Yes, on the way. He goes, "Hey, I'll be here at 9:00 or whatever it
Yeah.
was, like 8:50." You sure, Ryan? Where are you going? Because it's saying I'm getting there at 8:50, and you're still like an hour away from me or whatever. You're going to Oregon, aren't we? No.
Yep.
No, we're not.
Yep.
Did you read the letter? I didn't read the letter. God.
So Ryan lives in Northern Illinois, in the suburb of Chicago. He made it.
Yes, he
there was
did.
also more more meet and greet time at the beginning than we thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't make it. Well, the whole time he didn't tell us that he was in pain and had gout, and he didn't know what gout was.
He,
Like
I'm still kind of confused of what gout is.
I don't know.
Like-
He literally told me he thought it
I don't know.
it went away during the Middle Ages, is what he said. He goes, I didn't think it was real. I thought it died with the plague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
struggling, walking with a limp the whole time. But he's still the life of the party, as he always is.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was good.
It's
hanging out
never
with
a
him.
it's never a dull moment.
No.
Ever.
No, and
Ever.
and
With
he
Ryan.
captured everybody's attention as we expected.
And then
Everybody's like,
was it at the bow shoot when him and John started talking about the mule deer hunt he's gonna go on, and oh my gosh, was that great!
he's gonna die. Ryan, if you listen to this podcast, I think you're gonna die in Montana.
Yeah,
So
like the helicopter's gonna go out to
I
look
don't
for
think
you.
you're gonna die.
yeah,
He'll
Ryan
be
doesn't
fine.
know. Ryan doesn't know what he doesn't know. Like
No,
he just some basic questions. And I'm not an expert. I've been to Colorado twice, Kyle once, but we had done a lot of research. So even if I don't maybe know exactly, I have a general idea because I read this article or whatever. There's a couple things I remember us saying something. Like either John would say something or we would say something to Ryan, and Ryan would just look at us like.
he'd be like, really?
Yeah, but he's also he's got time to plan, and he's going out with our Uncle Butch, who's been out. I don't even know how many times. He's got that Jeep all ready to go, though, man.
Oh yeah, he does. 100%.
Yes, he does.
That's his baby,
That is
man.
sick.
Yep.
Yeah. So they'll be fine. They won't need no helicopter. They'll be pulling the helicopters with that Jeep, man.
I know no matter how it goes for him, there will be a story. 100%.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
Dude, if I had just all the time in the world, I would go just to film and watch the show.
Yep.
Mhm.
Which that reminds me, I'm still waiting to hear back from Kentucky. See if
Oh, you didn't watch it?
Yes,
I
yes,
watched
yes.
it already. The draw was Friday. Your name was not on there.
Oh,
Neither was mine.
well, that's good. to
Neither
know.
was Ryan's. But according today, if you get on the website, it'll say if you got it or not. Today was the day it's supposed to update the website. But no, they have an hour-long YouTube thing they post to their website, and it's literally just this lady reading names in the town they're from. So the only Illinois that I heard.
Did you hear anybody from? Well, I'm from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
but-
I know, but your name wasn't called. But the only person from Illinois I heard was someone who got called from Quincy, which I thought was pretty cool.
What about Did you hear a Scott from Wisconsin? I had somebody up here apply.
I don't think so. I honestly don't think I heard any Wisconsin. It's like I would say it's 99% Kentucky, and then just sprinkled in there was like Illinois, Ohio, Virginia, couple Tennessees, like couple Carolinas.
It's okay because I told my wife, I was like, hey, I'm gonna apply for this Kentucky elk hunt in like the fall. By the way, she goes, what do you mean? I go, I'm just gonna apply for it, and I might get it, I might not. And at that point in time, I was like, but if I don't, I'll get a preference point to build for following years. And then literally after I applied, boom goes, you get no preference points. I was like, yeah,
it's just a lottery. It's just a lottery.
Yep.
Yep. I didn't even tell my wife, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So.
Kyle's gonna try to get me divorced. I told him I'm not applying because my luck I'll win. Kyle and I already got a trip planned. If I go elk hunting too, I'm a dead man. But then Kyle's like, well, if I draw, like, you're gonna come film, right? Probably, but.
That was like, you might as well apply because you're going to go. No
Yeah, well, that's what I told him. I literally said, I'm like,
you'll be there.
I'm like, you're not gonna not go. He's like, well, yeah, but.
Stop peer pressuring me.
Yeah.
You might as well go shoot something while you're down there, right?
Yep.
You might as well.
Well, I thought about, what was that guy's name? We met him at the Illinois Deer Classic, and he was from Kentucky. He was up here doing ICC Caterpillar. I was like, if I drew a Kentucky elk tag, that's the guy I'm calling.
Yep.
100%.
If I can figure out, if I can find him, I'll give him a shout out real quick.
Yeah. See, I applied for the archery and I applied for the firearm, and I didn't get either. But I was like, hey, why not?
You got to be in the game to win.
Exactly.
Man. You got to be in the game to win. I applied just for the rifle.
Did you?
Lie.
Well, I was gonna do that,
about.
but the archery, the only reason I did that is they had like a 2-week season in December you could go to, because I knew I wouldn't be able to go in the fall. But I'm like, I looked at Cody, I'm like, December in Kentucky? It's really probably not that cold. I'm like, maybe, but I'm like, probably be okay for archery.
Yeah, all right. Tough it out.
Yeah.
It'd be fine.
Yeah, and it's really not that. It's really not that far. At least for us.
No.
A little farther for you, but
especially for you
yeah,
guys.
for us, it's really not that far.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta drive through half of Illinois.
Yeah.
Boom. Did you have anything else about day 2 of the awesome weekend we had?
Not really, other than I believe Kyle and I and maybe a couple others are going to see Chris again. Go back to Wisconsin for the HHA. Same thing. They're doing the same thing Vortex did, except just their.
When is
factory.
that?
July 10th? July 8th, 9th, or 10th, or something like
I'll
that.
have to take a look.
Yeah, it's after the.
After the 4th week. So.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look. You sent that out, and I haven't voted if I was going yet or not, and I apologize.
Yeah, I was gonna send something this week and said I need final answers. So.
Okay.
So
it's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. Man, I cannot think of find this guy's name.
A lot of pressure.
But no, anyway, we had a great time. Looking forward to seeing Chris again and keeping that relationship alive. Honestly, as long as they keep having us, that's something we'll probably do every year. It was that worth it to me, and it was a good time. And maybe in the future, maybe we'll try to take another like random first responder with us. 1 or 2. Why not? Try to get some other team members to go too. Honestly, it was just a really good time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was all levels of archers there during the shoot. You had people like me who'd been shooting all year. Then you had cream of the crop. They got target bows. They're you can tell they shoot competition, shooting lights out.
And then you had me and Jesse.
No. There was another guy. I was gonna say you guys are not the bottom of the barrel. I was not gonna say that. There was a guy next to me, Wisconsin cop. He was shooting an old, I believe it was an old Matthews. one of their bigger models back in like early 2000 model. I can't think of the name. I don't think it was a switchback. I think it was the one before that. And anyway, man, shooting old rubber peep sight that kept busting. The peep sight kept like
Falling out.
blowing out like every fifth shot. He would just put it back on, keep shooting, just doing the damn thing, man. And he wasn't shooting bad. So yeah, old.
Dude, I got intimidated like walking up there because these guys are getting out of the truck and getting their bow cases out, but then they're putting on their belts with the quivers and like all like the guy that we were supposed to shoot with had his own little mini clipboard
Yeah.
to keep score on, and he had like 7 pins in his like tool pouch too, and I was like, oh
Yeah,
wow.
he had like a damn like.
But he also coaches that team and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's levels to this game, and people go way down the rabbit hole.
Yep.
Man, I wish.
Well, like I specifically remember, like when I first started hunting, Boom's like, "You gotta get into bow hunting." I said, "No," because at that point in time, I really didn't want to get up in a tree, and like I just didn't want to do it. He goes, "Well, you have." And then what convinced me was, he goes, "Well, your deer season goes from like 2 or 3 weekends to months." And then B, he let me shoot his bow, and I was like, that felt amazing. And that was wonderful. And he goes, now be careful, because you will dive deep down this world. And I thought I was really starting to get a little deeper into the archery world, right? And then I went there, and I was like, not even close. Like, nowhere near. Like,
Just for
I maybe have
a foot in the water.
2 inches of a shovel into the
Oh,
ground.
no.
Yeah. Not even a foot. Like a little toe.
Like one toe in the water.
Like my tip of my toenails in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, woo.
There was a couple years ago.
They're saying lingo and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
There was a couple
But
years
good
ago
for
I
you.
had to make a conscious decision about how far down the rabbit hole I was going to go because if you guys, I'm sure people who listen to podcasts, if you know a lot about archery, you would know who he is. But John Dudley shot with Hoyt and then he was Matthews, I think, before that. Then he's shot with a bunch of bow companies. Been traveling around the world. He bow hunts. He taught Joe Rogan how to shoot a bow. Helped. Very famous archer and archery coach. Well, Express, which is a bow press company, was going out of business, and a lot of times when you go to these bow shop companies, very often you will see an Express bow press is what they're using. Well, John Dudley bought like 50 of them, something like that, maybe 20, 50, somewhere in there, and he was selling them pretty cheap and then providing one-on-one coaching to learn how to press your own bows and stuff. And this is when I just became a Canton cop. I was this close. I just looked at him like, oh man, do I want to go down this rabbit hole? And I decided not to. I decided me just building my own arrows is far enough. I don't need to go all the way down that rabbit hole. So I'm right where I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go down there.
Yep, I feel you. That's kind of where I got into it, and I know enough to kill animals, and that's good enough for me. I don't need to hit. I don't need to hit the 12 ring every time I shoot. I just need to hit in the kill area. It seems to be working, so good enough for me.
And I know enough from my days of working at Farm King when they actually used to work on some bows. I can pretty much do anything you need to your bow that doesn't need a bow press. As soon as it needs a bow press, I'm out. But anything else, you need, hey, your peep sight pops out, you need to put a new one in, have me tie it, I can do that. Yeah, it's just not going all the way down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so guys, we are, again, partnering up with HHA Sites. You're going to see a lot of HHA sites on our bows going into this deer season. Looking forward to it. Before we move on, is there anything else about that weekend you guys want to talk about? Or you think we covered
One thing I just want to say, when we got to the end of it, and obviously we all kind of had an idea of maybe something that we thought about we wanted to purchase, and we specifically got told like, hey, don't do anything now. Don't worry, don't go look at the showroom. We'll take care of you guys. And sure enough, they did. They took care of us, and couldn't be more thrilled and thankful for what they did for everyone that went there. But I'm actually gonna grab it. So I got something.
Yeah.
from there.
So they put their money where their mouth is. I know I haven't made my purchase yet. I'm about to. Probably I get paid Friday. So
Do you have to email that guy your order?
So,
What you want?
yes, yeah. Kyle will talk about it.
so it's pretty easy. So you email. So all I did was I emailed the whatever Chris sent us and said, "Hey, I was at the HHA event and I'm interested in purchasing something. Like, what do I do?" And he goes, "Send me what you're interested in, and I'll get back to you with an invoice." So I literally went to their website, copied the title of what I wanted, which was this. This was the Crossfire HD spotting scope. I think it's a 20 by 60 with a 80-inch bell on it there, and email him that, and he's like, "Okay," sends me the invoice, price of it. He said, "If you want to go through with this, call this guy. He's like one of our sales rep, and you'll just do the order over the phone." And I called him. He told me what it was. I did the credit card info over the phone, and that was it. He even said, and then he goes, "They're on back order, so we're out of stock right now, so it might be a minute before you get it." It was like 3 days later, and they shipped it. I got it in 2 days. Like, they express shipped it and everything, so it was sweet. I'm happy with it, but it's awesome. Be really good for out west hunting and Alaska hunting, so pretty excited about it.
Yep. Yep.
Lovely.
So essentially, they said they support law enforcement and their military veterans. They said they're going to hook us up, and they did.
Mm-hmm.
So again, nothing. Shout out to Vortex. Honestly, they got a Vortex customer for the rest of my life, probably. So if it'd be tough to try to even go with another site. I was 100%, to be honest with you. I'm thinking about switching to a red dot for my duty weapon. I was looking at some other brands. I'm going to go Vortex now. So just because from this weekend. But yeah, anything else about this weekend?
Nope.
No?
Awesome time.
Yep.
Well,
Just awesome time.
couple news. Again, I'm going to try to be better with the podcast because I did just get something kind of off my plate. This, I think, news is Jesse even. Kyle knows about this. So, as you guys probably knew, we talked about it at the shows. If you guys met us before, we always made our own merchandise. And we will still be making some of our own merchandise to some degree. But I'll be honest, guys, I hate it. Making merch is not what I enjoy. I enjoy everything about the Thin Blue Line Outdoors except making merchandise. I don't like it. It's not fun for me. And talking to some of our local people, prices have kind of calmed down actually since COVID, and we're going to be getting it made by an outside dealer now, local firm to my community, and they. And honestly, it's going to be higher quality prints than what I'm able to do. So prices will go up a little bit, not a lot. But yeah, we're going to do it that way now. So that frees up my time a little bit. And if you want to get into screen printing or sewing hat patches or anything like that, go to Facebook Marketplace. You'll see it here soon. And I promise you it'll be a good deal. I'm selling it a lot cheaper than what I bought it for. So go ahead and look there. But we're going to have like a fire sale at the Illinois Deer and Beer Fest, though. Pretty much everything we have in stock now, I'm going to be selling pretty cheap. So come see us at the Illinois Deer and Beer Fest, and you'll be able to get some of our merchandise we have in stock right now way cheaper than you've been able to get it. So check that out. Other than that, we haven't like officially announced it yet, but we might have a new sponsor in the works. I just got the product in today, so I'm going to send it out to all my team members to try it out. I will tell you this, I had some gnats biting me today when I was working on my chicken run. I sprayed this stuff on me. I wasn't getting bit no more. So hint there, but you guys will be seeing that, and that guy will come on the podcast too once we lock that up.
It's gasoline,
Yeah.
isn't it?
You want to tell them what we're doing in July besides the HHA?
Yep. So July we have the HHA shoot, and then later on in July, going back to Lake Michigan. Yep. This time we're bringing Kyle.
My
with
first
us.
time.
So
Lake Michigan Virgin here.
You're gonna be.
It's gonna be a lot of
I'm gonna-
fun.
You're gonna be exhausted.
Yep.
Yep.
Am I gonna get
You're
wet?
gonna be exhausted. If you do, I don't know what you did.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong.
Gotcha.
You're doing it wrong. And I believe we're gonna have. I'm not gonna announce who yet, but I believe we're gonna have some other first responders with us. So one thing that you guys have brought to us on at the shows that we do is, not all of you guys need a mentorship because you guys have been hunting your whole life. You don't need somebody to hold your hand or anything like that. But you may have only be a deer hunter in Illinois. You may only duck hunt, whatever, and you want to expand outside of your comfort zone. And that's where we're hoping to come into play and start taking people with us. And this is kind of a trial run for us. I think it's going to be good, but we're going to take some guys who've never went salmon fishing before, other than just Kyle. So it'll be fun. We'll get them taken care of. We're going to videotape and all that good stuff again, per usual. And I'll just have a good time doing it. So we have that in July. In August, I don't have it in front of me, but we have the Deer and Beer Fest again. So definitely come see us in August. And then September, Kyle, what are you doing in September?
Well, I was just gonna stay home, but Cody got this wild hair up his ass that, hey, my dad's going to Alaska to go caribou hunting, and I kind of got permission to kind of go, so why don't we go do that? I'm like, well, yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea. I've never been on a plane, definitely never been to Alaska, so it'll be two new things for me, as I'm pretty excited about. I don't know how the plane ride's gonna go. I'll deal with that when I get there. I don't know if I'll just drug myself or drink myself to a relaxation, but maybe one of those. But I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to go caribou hunting in Alaska, and we're going to use our bows, and it's going to be exciting.
Yep. I'm pretty sure
so
it went.
cool.
So essentially, I'm gonna say this and make it public. So if she tries to backtrack, everybody knows.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody who listens to this knows. I was told by my wife a year ago, don't plan a hunt for 2025 other than our hog hunt. Okay, no problem. I did not plan on a hunt and did not have a hunt planned. A week before we planned this Alaska hunt, she goes, "Where are you going this year?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "I just assumed you have a hunt plan." I'm like, "I didn't. Are you saying I can?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't really care." Green light, bud. Less than a week later, we were going to Alaska. Just like that. And we were looking at some other hunts and stuff. And I said something to Kyle, like, "You want to go to Alaska? This is what my dad's playing, blah, blah." He's like, "Well, I'm going to ask my wife. I'm going to go no matter what."
I was trying to tell her that. I'm like, and she was just like, obviously she doesn't like it when I'm gone for long periods of time. But she's like, "Well, are you gonna go anyway?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm not gonna not go." She's like, "Well, why do you even ask me then?" I'm like, "Well, if you said yes, it'd be a lot easier." So I asked you, hoping you're gonna say yes. I'm like, "You think you'd feel a lot better if you just said yes?" Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. You'll feel better.
You'll feel better. I'll feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, all good.
It's a win-win.
Yeah,
It's a win-win
exactly.
that way.
That's like, yeah. If you just, if I'm gonna go, just say yes, and then you're like, "Oh yeah."
Yep. So we have as a team, we have for hunts this fall, we have Alaska. We have a team member going to Nebraska to hunt whitetail or mule deer. And then we have Ryan going to Montana. So three good hunts. The plan is right now, those hunts will not come out in the fall, and we're going to do more like a featured film style and have like a little film week sometime in the off season. We'll watch all 3 films hopefully. That's the plan.
Grab my
right
popcorn.
now. Yep. So that's the plan. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else, guys?
Nope.
Cool.
Nope.
I'm going to start trying to do these podcasts a little bit more often. Hope you guys like this setup. This is a different platform we're using right now. Other than my internet, it seems to be going fine. My internet was struggling at the beginning of this. But other than that, I'll have you guys stay on real quick, and I'll stop the recording. Thanks for listening or watching, whatever you're doing. Make sure you check out our sponsors in the show notes, and be safe out there. Hopefully, catch some fish this summer. See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.